Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Talking Cryptocurrency podcast. I'm your host, Jason Rigden. On this episode, we're going to be talking to Giles Gailer, CEO of Humancoin. But before we jump into the interview, I have this quick message. I really hope you like this show. I put a lot of work into it. If you do like it, would you please consider doing something for me? Give me a review on Apple Podcasts. Now, if you're a hardcore podcast listener, you are probably sick of hearing this. Every show begs for reviews, and it's a little annoying. But it does make a big difference. Those reviews help people decide to subscribe. They help guests choose which shows to go on. Those ratings and reviews for the shows are a direct way you can help this show grow. So, if you like this show and you want more, please help me. Take the time and give the show a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, or whatever they're calling it now. Hello, and on this episode, I'm here with Giles Gailer of Humancoin. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jason.
So could you tell me a little bit about the problem you're trying to solve here?
Well, the problem, let me start by running through what Humancoin is. And then we can, that then helps set the scene, if you like, for what the problem is. So Humancoin, we consider to be a new massive cryptocurrency currently making big news in the ICO world. We've got a pre-ICO sale currently running, and despite the market as it is at the moment, we are doing very well. We're almost at the finish line, so we really need everybody's help to try and get us across this first part of our target, and then we can move on to the real work. So, a little bit about me, if you don't mind, Jason. I'll ramble on, and then I'll take things on through to the problem. I am a former marathon runner, and also I've done various work for charities in the past, trying to raise funds through this. Through these activities of running marathons, which of course is very difficult anyway, and raising the funds was always very difficult. But not only that, in my professional life as well, I've been involved with starting up businesses and business development and raising funds for over 20 years now. So I know the challenges that are faced in this sort of sphere. So, I knew before I even went into this venture what the problems were, but it was nice to be able to do some basic research and find out prior to the launch that, the technology isn't being used to its potential in the charity world. And there are doubts from donors, both individuals and corporate, that stop them from donating. Stop them donating from both small amounts and large amounts. Those doubts include whether the contribution will reach the recipient in full and on time. And by necessity, there has to be some reduction in the contribution, because the charity has to be, much as they run on volunteers and good work and charitable work, there are some costs that they have to incur. And so, these costs could be things like cross-border payments for foreign projects, regulatory agencies. And so we took all of this into account, really, and that's where the idea for Humancoin came from.
So is part of the problem just like the transparency of where charities are spending money?
Not just where charities are spending money, but where that money is going. There are, for instance, if we were raising, I'm based in the UK. So if we're raising money in the UK, but the money is going to disaster aid in China or to earthquake recovery in Central America, then, there are going to be a number of people, a number of processes that money has to go through before it reaches its final destination. However that money is received, that could be in the form of goods, but more often than not, it is received in the form of money. And that money there won't be as much money there. And there's no way of seeing what's going on there. So we've We are looking at various things to, we're looking at ensuring that there is a forensic understanding of where the money is going to go and how much money is going to arrive in certain places. And when I talk about charitable donations, this could be anything from those massive natural disasters through to doctors wanting new pairs of shoes. I use that as an example because I was talking to somebody in South America who said, I can't believe there are doctors here who don't have shoes or who can't wear shoes. And what we'd like to be able to do is to be able to fund them to provide basic clothing for them. And then I was talking to somebody in Turkey who was saying that they know of schools that are looking to raise funds just so they can get their schools painted. It's all these, it's from the very small to the very big. And we're trying to make sure that money gets to where it's supposed to go.
Okay, and so how are you solving these problems?
Well, with Humancoin. So we've got this, we've got blockchain technology, and we've got an associated peer-to-peer platform that'll help us solve these problems and provide further development. So donors can then monitor their transactions, see where their funds are going. Charities can demonstrate the integrity, providing information on how the funds are being used. There'll be quick payments, including those cross-border transactions, which will be simplified. And the problems of currency and cryptocurrency conversion is solved. So those transaction costs then become reduced. And we just feel that if we can not only build this charitable side to the platform, but also start to combine this with e-commerce and e-commerce loyalty programs, so that you get some sort of reward for your donations, and that then is and I'm trying to bring in our proof of charity mining protocol here, because this is a very important part of how we generate additional tokens, and it's key that I start to discuss this. But I want to bring it in a sensible order, because the project is very complex, as you'd expect. And one of the best ways for me to describe this has been in the white paper on our website, humancoin.net. Just so I can plug that and get that out there, make sure that everybody goes there, and we'll download the white paper, have a look at our pitch decks, and fully understands and appreciates what I'm trying to say here, because it's a complex beast, Humancoin. We're trying to make it as simple as possible by providing this by being a premier global loyalty program and helping with the philanthropy industry by combining the ability to donate with our e-commerce partners and providing them with a loyalty or reward scheme. So all of these things then combine together to provide you with this huge I seem to remember talking to you before, Jason, about emotional resonance. There's not only is there a goodwill feeling with being a donor, but also the ability to you're getting something back, not necessarily in the form of cash, but maybe a loyalty reward of some sort.
So if I was to use the Humancoin to do a donation, like you said, to disaster relief, I would get some kind of like possible reward, like airline miles or gas points.
Yes, you could do that. You would, or you may just want to hold on to your coins themselves. So there are a number of ways that we can set this up. It's just a simple conversion program, really, that we need to have in place. The Humancoin itself can be exchanged for these reward schemes, or it can be held on and exchanged on various crypto exchanges. It really depends on what you want to do.
And how do the charities make contact with you?
Obviously. Well, once we've, we will be going out to the big buy world once our pre-ICO sale is completed, and we'll be making sure that everybody is fully aware of who we are and how they can get in contact with us. We've got various charity advisors on board with us at the moment who are going to help spread the good word. But once for them to be able to set up a project on a Humancoin, it'd be a very simple process. There will be a portal for them to be able to just log in and set this project up very quickly, so that these things can be established very quickly as well.
Okay. And would these be for large projects, or if there was a small, like an apartment fire, would it be able to handle that kind of emergency too?
Absolutely. Yep. It could be any size project.
And so what have been some of the challenges of trying to solve this problem?
Well, I think the current investor climate, I think, is very poor, and people are a little bit reluctant to start to fund these ICOs at the moment, which is a shame because there are still a lot of decent projects around. Ours, obviously, being the best, but there's as well as the we get a lot of doubters, I think, would be the best way of describing it. And we work hard to try and address their concerns, and we spend a lot of time talking to these people. And eventually we can understand their side, and they can understand our perspective. We are trying to reach a common goal here. It's something that we're trying to we're trying to produce the cryptocurrency of kindness, and that's our sort of tagline. This is something for the good of humankind that we want to generate here. I think that's probably the best way of saying it. So there's, it's been a terrific journey so far this year, and we've got a long way to go before the platform is fully functional at the Q3 of next year. But it's going to be a hell of a journey for sure.
So then what are some of your plans for the future going forward?
Well, we are. So the token sale the initial token sale will end over the next few weeks, and then we can start to complete the platform and expansion of the team, release the MVP, look at concluding the agreements with the charitable foundations we're already in discussion with. Then we're going to launch the charity platform in beta towards the end of the year with certain agreements with our e-commerce partners, and we'll have the legal structure in place at that point as well. Then at the start of 2019, things really start to spice up when we got the platform entering operation for real, and charity funds being collected and tokens being distributed to benefactors. And then, it really is. I don't want to launch too far into the future here, but we're already looking at a year down the line. June time of next year, we're looking at the platform being fully functional, which will be a terrific for the whole world. I believe.
Yeah, that's great. So is there anything that maybe I should have asked you that I missed?
Well, maybe I can talk about. Perhaps I can go through the proof of charity mining concept in a little bit more detail. So, we know that the charity industry, for instance, takes about 20% of the donation on average. It could be more, it could be less, but it's not going to be a lot less than that. So the average is around about 20%. So for a modest 1%, we can modest 5%, we can start to issue tokens. So benefactors will then get tokens in correlation to the amount of amount that they donate. So they will receive back 50% of the value of their donation in tokens, according to the exchange-weighted price of the token at that time. And those tokens can then be exchanged for benefits from e-commerce partners on the platform. And if they are, then they can be taken out of circulation and burned. We believe that this will allow us to scale the project hundreds and thousands of times, and places no restrictions on the number of participants that can get involved, so that new projects, donors, and e-commerce market players will be able to become a big part of the Humancoin community in the future, and allow us to grow globally very quickly. We are asked where the Humancoin tokens will be listed and when. And just to let you know that just after the token sale in November, we are planning to release the tokens and distribute them. We believe that within a short time they'll be traded on decentralized exchanges like IDEX and so on. And the team will try and get listed on tier 1 exchanges as quickly as we can. And a significant amount of tokens will be reserved, and I'm reading this out now. The significant amount of tokens is reserved from the beginning, and being properly listed and tradable is an important part of our business model and strategy. But if I could just point everybody towards our website again, humancoin.net, and get them to help us push across our initial stage of fundraising. Of course, and then we've got the quarterly buyback option as well, with 5 times the tokens sale after launch. So every quarter we're looking to buy back tokens, and which we believe is an incredible offer, but one that we've spent a long time trying to validate. We believe that with this proof of charity mining protocol, that we can really build something special.
So yeah, I'll make sure I have all those show notes and that white paper link and all the links in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thanks, Giles, for coming on the show. If you want to learn more about Humancoin, check out the show notes. I've got all the links right down there. You've been listening to Talking Cryptocurrency Podcast. My name is Jason Rigden. I have been your host. Thanks for listening to the show. If you liked it, would you please consider giving us a rating and a review on iTunes? I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great day.